Welcome to Hoodies, the podcast. We go deep with the blast. Peace. I want to welcome you all back to another dope-ass episode of Hoodies, the podcast. I'm the host, Gar Rashidi. We're going to go ahead and get into this thing. Shout out to black men, women, boys, girls, and especially the elders, man. Word. Love to the elders. Appreciation to the elders. But of course, we got to bring it right back around to the youth because they the future. Word. Before we go any further, I would tell you to hit the thumbs up button, but you haven't even heard what I had to say yet. So I'm not going to say that yet, right? That's right, Hove. Not DOC, but similar to them letters. No one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do. Yada, 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 yada. Finish your breakfast. Translation. Finish what you started. Right? Finish what you started. So, this pod right here is for everybody with that energy of having an excuse for everything. Again, this pod is for everybody with that energy of excuses for everything. You know, people that's got an excuse for everything. Right? You know what I'm saying? Many of us have started nursing school for a business degree, be it HR, business administration, or whatever. We've started trade school for HVAC, barber school. We started a logistics type business where we'd be transporting, sports cars, exotic cars, things like that. We started learning about real estate, etc. But for whatever reasons, we just don't fucking finish. Right? Look, being somebody who went to college back in 93, right? Still kind of undecided on what I really wanted to major in, but, it was weird. I heard about, this, being a male nurse. It was kind of weird for me. It was the first time I ever heard anything about that after I graduated high school. Because it sounded like that was something that mostly women did, right? But, fuck it. I made haste, and I signed up for that. Figure I could change my mind later. So I went to Montgomery College in Tacoma Park, Maryland. It's really like D.C., but anyway. All right, so sure, right? I had a whole lot going on. At the time. Sure, right? My baby brother had just died around that time. If you've seen the Love doc, you know all the details that's surrounding that, right? If you haven't seen the Love doc, go watch it then. Shit, right? I also talked about the detectives coming to the crib and whatnot, right? So those same detectives, they pulled up on me outside one of my classes. They pulled up on me. It was this white dude and this white lady. They pulled up on me because I blew court. You know what I'm saying? I remember that white lady. She was like, if you don't show up, you're going to go to jail. And I was also trying to maintain a job. You know what I'm saying? And then I got word from the young lady I was seeing at the time that she was pregnant. Right? Turns out it wasn't true. If a woman can somehow convince you that she's pregnant, you will start banging her like before. Okay, you were still playing Russian roulette. She still could have fucked around and got pregnant. Feel me? But at least you tried to pull out. Whatever. But if you think she's already pregnant, you're more intentional. You just gonna pop off. It just is what it is. You're gonna pop off in there. And that's what it was for me. That's what it was. And that's what happened. Right? She wasn't pregnant. I thought she was. I popped off intentionally. Then she got pregnant for real. By the way, she ended up being a mother of my two oldest sons. So with all that, plus working, popping the can, death, and then ultimately life. Like, somebody could be watching this right now, right, and saying like, yo, it happens. Shit, you had a lot going on. You had a lot going on. I still could have went harder. Still could have went harder. I could have used my baby brother's death as fuel. You know what I'm saying? I could have used becoming a father, whether it was real or not, as fuel. Right? If I really wanted to stay in school, I could have. You know what I'm saying? Instead, I used all of that to underachieve. In fact, I wanted to drop out. I was 18. I was overwhelmed. I quit. I didn't finish my breakfast. The first time outside of high school that I actually finished something in spite of the things going on around me was basic training. Basic training. I remember it was Great Lakes, Illinois in 1995. All I remember when I first got there was this RDC or company commander, depending on which branch you went in, depends on what you call them, right? All I remember is showing up, this brother in a uniform. He was a tall, stocky brother yelling, "Line up against the wall, nut to butt. Nut to butt, line up against the wall. Nut to butt." First of all, the choice of words fucked me up, right? But instantly though, I learned what it meant, the concept of picking and choosing your battles. I learned that real quick. You know what I'm saying? This brother was mad aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Mad aggressive. Looked like a dark-skinned Jim Kelly in uniform, minus the afro. I wanted no smoke. I did notice, however, that my thinking around that time started to change. You know what I'm saying? I remember, doing push-ups or whatever, and I would do stuff like, and then start doing my push-ups, and then the RDC, the big, tall, stocky motherfucker, be like, yeah, that's it. That's right. That's how you do that shit. Yeah. So I started using that shit. I started using it to work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like another time when the division was doing like swim quals, we had to climb up these letters, not letters, but stairs. I was about to say ladders. As these stairs, you go up, everybody, the whole division, one by one, and you go all the way up. It's like 10 feet up, right? It's like this diving board contraption type thing. We had to go up there, line up one by one, and then jump off. I'm scared as shit, thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing here, man? But again, I started using things in my life as fuel to push me instead of using it as an excuse. It just, fuck that. Do this for your seed. You know what I'm saying? Be to him what your father wasn't for you. My turn came and I jumped. I almost drowned, but I jumped. I did that shit. I finished basic training. And I'm saying that because a lot of people that went in didn't come out. Same, just like anything. It's like being in a class, being in school. Everybody who started is not coming out at the end, right? I remember, MEPS. When you go through MEPS, the night before they have like all the recruits in a hotel. There's 2 to a room, 2 beds, of course. So the guy, I had a room with this white dude who was going on and on and on and on about how he was going to be a Navy SEAL and all this shit. This motherfucker was, man, he was whoa. Like I felt like, damn, maybe I need to pick up my enthusiasm. God damn, right? But anyway, he didn't finish. Some of them dudes in boot camp ended up getting word from home that they girlfriends or whoever they was dealing with did to them what had happened to me, right after high school. Some of them, instead of using it to fuel their situation, they bugged out and didn't finish. Some of them would I don't know, fake and do, I can't do push-ups. I mean, literally just start whimpering and acting like they couldn't do it. I mean, there's only so much you can do to motivate people, and they kick them the fuck up out of there. They don't make it. Yep, they just don't make it. Like, also, like say if you don't pass all your tests in there, like say if you fail a test, they'll sit like boot camp is 9 weeks. If you don't pass your tests, be it physical or written, they'll set you back. They call it asmoing you. Asmo, to get asmoed. They'll set you back a week. So now your 9 weeks is 10 weeks. Some people, real talk, some people was in that motherfucker for like 6 months. 6 months, fam. 6 months. So, sure, you could say, oh, it's just boot camp, but hey, I was 21. That was big for me. That was big for me. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, I signed up for the Navy after moving back to Chicago, from Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Then when I get to Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Wow, there was a gang war going on and all kinds of shit. It was just too much going on. Even inside the home I was living in. I had to get the fuck out of there, and I did. You know what I'm saying? I had to get out of there. Like I said, my oldest son was born. I had to start thinking about what I was going to do, so I signed up. Didn't know what the fuck how it was going to turn out. I hadn't finished anything but high school, so that was big for me. That was big for me. I finished my breakfast. And I carried that type energy with me ever since. Why ain't you finishing your breakfast? I mean, granted, none of our experiences gives us the right to be like questioning people, but it's a valid question. Why ain't you finishing your breakfast? Right? You know, sometimes I think that type of mentality, like the thinking is the thing that you use the bullshit around you as fuel to push you to keep fucking moving. A lot of people don't come into the thinking. I think it happens for people at different points in their lives. Some people when they're young, some people when they're older and whatever. You know what I'm saying? The late Kobe Bryant referred to it as the Mamba mentality. You know what I'm saying? That killer instinct. You know, the dog in you. Because everybody ain't got it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are using minute shit to underachieve. Starting nursing school and don't finish because they back hurt. Still bullshitting with that doctor's exam. I get it's hard, but goddamn it, it's been 3 years. You know? Listen. As a barber, and then of course becoming a shop owner, if I had a dime every time a brother or sister, you know what I'm saying, actually went to barber school, finished, and then stopped there, I'll be doing this podcast from one of my mini barbershops. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by stop there, I mean, yeah, they got their certificate of completion. They got that. But they never finish. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying certain individuals never finish and go take the state board exam and get the certification. Right? They don't do that shit. That's what I mean by they stop there. You know what I'm saying? And that makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. No fucking sense. How do you spend all that money and all that time? You just spent all that time and money and you ain't even gonna fucking finish? Now you just running around here with all that information and you don't do shit with it? When I went to barber school, right? Barber school was like a little under $9,000. A little over $9,000 if you count books, right? Now it's like 11.5, and that's not even including books, clippers, supplies, so it adds up. So yeah, it does baffle me. How the fuck does somebody spend all that time and all that money just to pussyfoot with their trade? Never made sense to me. And don't get me started on how that type of energy follows them to a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they start off talking that bullshit. Hey, I'm from so-and-so and we hustlers. We go-getters. Y'all want to be a pillar in your establishment. Just talking because they got lips. And don't make good on none of it. None of it. Not to mention they got the poorest work ethic you've ever fucking seen. That hustler, that go-getter, it's all fluff. It's all fluff, fam. And then on top of that, don't get me started with these tough guys. Okay, that's applicable not just in the barbershop. That's usually a sign that a man is insecure. Right? When you beating a dead horse about your former life in the streets, you hiding something. You hiding something. Most likely what's really happening is you're really insecure about something, and beating your chest is just a strategy to keep people from seeing that. You know what I mean? Always talking about their old cases and life in the streets and all that shit. And conversations don't even be about the streets. It just be about some regular shit. And they talk about how they was on trial for murder. It's trying to cover something up. And it's so fucking obvious. But anyway, that energy of not finishing your breakfast is a certain mentality that comes with that. A certain mentality, right? Whenever something needs to be done, there's always an excuse. Always. I'm too short. I'm too fat. I'm too tired. Ain't nobody here. I wasn't feeling good. My kid got a rash. It's too hot. Brr, it's too cold. It's too late. Shit, it's too early. Man, I don't even be having the time. I forgot. I didn't know. Listen, if it don't fall in their lap with all the heavy lifting already, done already, it ain't getting done. It's not getting done. It's 20 deuce, man. Finish your breakfast. Finish your breakfast, man. Finish your motherfucking breakfast. Okay, now, hit the thumbs up button. Or the dislike, or the thumbs down joint. Do something, fam. All right? At this moment, I would like to take the time to show my appreciation for the real hands-on parents. For the real hands-on parents. What do I mean by hands-on parents? I'm talking about the parents who went out with their kids in the stores, barbershops. It don't matter. You can tell they're in control. When a child or their children is told to sit the fuck down and the child complies, that parent is putting in the necessary work to rear that child. When brothers in my chair, right, and they keeping their sons in check, I tell them all the time, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, right? For standing firm on your fatherhood square. For leading. Most men, and I do mean most men, that come into my establishment, well, I ain't gonna say most, but a lot of men, when they come into my establishment, they some simps. For real. They simps. They're a bunch of simps that would rather go back and forth with me than to keep their kid in line. Sir, Sir, hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. Can you stop him from doing that, please? How much does that cost, eh? How much does that cost? Talking about the pool table that I have out here in the lobby. What does it matter how much it costs, sir? Because he's little, his age. I cannot keep him from touching. Sir, is that your son? Who's in control here? Well, that usually does the trick most times. And I know it seems like, I'm a dick when I'm being a dick. But if I don't hold it down, then who will? Who's going to do that? You know what I'm saying? I don't have the type of thinking where things will get better. No, they don't. They don't get better. I mean, well, they do get better, but you got to do something to make it better. You know what I'm saying? You have to do something to fix it, to change it, to whatever's required, right? Doesn't just get better. Right? So yeah. Yeah. So I appreciate you parents who put in the necessary work to finish their breakfast with their sons and kids, period. Because it matters. You matter. Parents. I'm sure y'all have already heard this before, right? Sure you've already heard this. There are these brothers on they're on the gram, and YouTube, and I guess other platforms as well, right? They got this podcast. I know you heard of it. It's called a Fresh and Fit Podcast. I don't know these brothers' names, and I can't front and act like I've seen a whole podcast. I just saw this clip, then I looked it up and listened to some of what they had to say because I wanted to see what all the hoopla was, what all the, these motherfuckers is worse than the Klan, that type shit, right? So these two brothers, right, are talking about how they don't rock with black women. They don't date black women. They don't date black women at all. They talked about how black women are annoying, ratchet, and there was something about the names that black women have, like LaQuisha, and for example. Look,
like, just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. it's not because like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the stereotype.
I would like to weigh in on that. First off, I love black women, right? I could never see myself not being with a black woman. I love them so much I want multiple. Doesn't mean I'm living like that, but there it is. In a heartbeat, right? I would risk my life protecting my black woman. In a heartbeat. In a motherfucking heartbeat. And any black woman in my family or otherwise. I think what they should have expressed was they don't fuck with certain types of black women. Right? But why would they say that? They say they don't date black women out. They lose me there. Right? But I understand some of it, believe it or not. So go ahead and start calling me whatever you want to call me. Call me coon, call this. Fuck you. Right? How about that one? Right? Because here's the thing. Like I said, I love black women. Okay? Right? But please help me understand why we act like some sisters don't act like that. Annoying. Ratchet. Right? Help me understand why we act like those types of women don't exist. You know what I'm saying? We all know sisters who act like that. Again, not all, some. We all know sisters who carry themselves as such. Come on, man. This is the age of social media. It's all on the gram, YouTube, Twitter. It's out there. You've seen it. You've seen all that shit. So why we get so super emotional about that? You know what I'm saying? Especially since we know better. Like, we know those types of women do exist. It's like people used to make these, these comments about rap. You know what I'm saying? Using words, bitches and hoes and this, that, and the third. Okay, I get it. But Let's keep it real. There are bitches and hoes out here. There are bitches and hoes. You know? But to say that those brothers are worse than the KKK and to call them clowns, okay, all right, you feeling some type of way because they don't fuck with our women. They don't fuck with sisters. Can we really blame some black boys and some black men for wanting to be with a white woman or a Latino woman when some black women are breaking their fucking necks to look like one? The blonde wigs, the blue contact lenses, the purple contact lenses. Some brothers feel like, why get a sister when I can go, why get a sister when I can go get the real thing? Because if they trying to, with the weave and the contact lenses, trying to look white, I may as well go get the real thing, not the knockoff. You know what I'm saying? And look, I admit as well. I admit it. When I see a black woman with a weave and contacts and all the extraness, I think to myself, there's a sister who's trying to look white or Latina. Right? Now, I know it may be a little contradicting, and I admit that when I say, when I talk about the weave, because if I was to see a sister with the poetic, Justice, Poetic Justice, the movie, and what Justice, Janet Jackson's character, the type of extension she had, I could fuck with that. You understand? But it's something about that blonde wig and the blue contacts that really, I look at a black woman like that, and I think to myself, she doesn't love herself. I think to myself, there's a sister that does not love herself. It's the opposite when I see a sister with her natural hair, locks, afro, whatever, hair wrap, a hijab, whatever. When I see that, I say to myself that there's a sister who loves herself. So much, in fact, you know what I'm saying? She's so confident in who she is and what she is. You know what I'm saying? What she represents. Like, it's like sometimes when I see fighter jets, in the sky, sometimes, depending on my mood, I might go, you know what I'm saying? That salute is an outward expression of what I feel on the inside. Those pilots are doing their time in the military. It's like I did. So a sister with her natural hair, you know what I'm saying, who walks with confidence and ain't trying to weave it up, I see that as her outward expression of how she feels about herself on the inside. And I hope I was able to articulate that the right way. It felt good. It felt right. You know what I'm saying? Listen, when I see white folk with locks, they trying to look black. When I see a white woman with extensions, I see a white woman trying to look black. When I see a white boy with sagging pants and cornrows, I see a white boy who's trying to look black, trying to be down. A wigger. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Listen. Call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is, right? And I don't think it would be a bad idea if we all took a look inward. As a community, I do not think it would be a bad idea if we all looked inward. Meaning, we need therapy. I'm beating a dead horse. I've said this 1,000 times, but fuck it. We need to complete therapy. People start but don't finish, because shit get kind of real when you open up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we say we want to start to heal, but we don't even want to start therapy. Shit, fuck finishing. A lot of times we don't even start. We think that if we go, that something's wrong with us, when it's blatantly obvious that something is wrong with us. We dealing with all kinds of shit. Self-hate, abandonment issues, shit, man, and then the rabbit hole is even deeper if you've been violated. Man. So when we don't go or complete therapy, we never, we never ask the real questions. Like, why you ain't tell me who my father was, ma? And if you're a daughter, why you ain't go hard for me when I told you that your boyfriend was inappropriate with me, ma? Why didn't you tell me you loved me when I was a kid, ma? Why couldn't you be the man you was trying to get me to be, Pop? Were you violated as a youth and that's why you did it to me, Pop? I need answers. We don't ask the real questions. We need therapy. It's 20 deuce deuce. Finish your breakfast. We all need to finish our breakfast. That brings me to a quote by Carl Jung. Right? That brings me to a quote. And that quote reads as follows. I am not what happened to me. I am who I chose to become. Finish your breakfast.